Malcolm, it's nice to see you again. We are in Le Mans, and I would like to ask you several questions about your mission as the responsible of the event commission. What is it about?
Well, the Events Commission that I'm the chairman of is here to promote the use of historic vehicles all around the world, to get them in front of the general public and their children primarily, so that we can pass on the passion that we have for our vehicles to the next generation and the next generation. That involves also having the skills passed down as well, so that the cars can be maintained and used. So I say run, we organise or are involved with something like 100 plus events a year around the planet, north and south poles basically, from pole to pole. And we support and advise and guide organisers as to how to run their events. And we have a set of stewards within my commission, just under 40. They're all around the world as well, and they will go to some of these events and advise and guide and give some feedback to the organisers to help publicise the events. And as you well know, we've started recently to use social media on the top of what we do on our website, and that's reaching a whole new audience of younger people typically, and that's working really, really well. I'm very, very pleased the way that's going.
Okay, Malcolm, about the commission, I know that FIVA is not organizing events. As you said, you support the organizer and you help also the public to access events around the world, including the FIVA World event. What is it?
FIVA World Event is something that clubs or organisers apply to have their event considered for, and we run them for cars, for utilitarian vehicles and also for motorcycles. And this year is the first year ever we'll have done a world event for the Utilitarian Commission, and that's taking place in Netherlands at the end of July, the end of this month. That's going to be quite spectacular. Already this year we've run a car event in Mexico. That was very, very well received. Lots of good publicity for FIVA and for the car owners and the drivers. And we ran a motorcycle one in Austria, again with 150 participants, plus also, it's open to the public to come along and watch. And we also ran one that I was wearing on my lanyard before I was interviewed about the FIVA World Rally we ran in Portugal a few weeks ago. And again, all of these are promoting sensible and responsible use of classic vehicles in front of the public.
About the steward activity, may I have some explication about this mission? What is a steward? What is doing during the event?
Could you say that again, please? What the steward's doing?
Steward.
The steward for the event, depending upon the event, the steward is there to maintain an overview that the organisers are complying with the FIVA guidelines. We don't enforce the guidelines, but the guidelines are there to help organisers give a structure to their event. So the steward will then check the documentation, check all of the parking arrangement, all sorts of things that we need to do to make sure that we maintain the high standard that FIVA is associated with. The steward will then write a report to me after the event with his personal feedback, also his public feedback, and also some messages that we need to give to the organisers, which hopefully they will take on board. And in fact, I was responding to one this morning, and the organisers are very, very pleased with what our steward has suggested, and they will adopt what we've suggested and make their event better next year. So it's a virtuous circle. We help them, they help us, and we win together.
About the public, I know that people can check the FIVA event calendar, but organizer, they need, is it an obligation to be a member of FIVA to apply for the registration?
No, it's not a prerequisite that you have to be a FIVA member or associated with FIVA. Anybody can apply, but we do due diligence on the organisers and the applications. And if it's an organiser that we don't know or nobody can vouch for, then we will potentially either turn down their event, or we will actually ask more questions of them before we approve it. And if events want to come on, we have two levels of events, which is national and international, which is slightly confusing because even the national ones can go across country boundaries. But an event new to our calendar would always come on as a national, and we would tend to observe it to see if it is okay, it meets our criteria, and then it can be upgraded the following year to an international if it's passed our tests. I hope that's okay.
Okay, Malcolm, thank you very much. So I can understand that you are accessible. So if anyone from everywhere wants to have information, it's easy to contact you. How to contact you?
Ideally through the website is the first point of contact, but we are getting contacts already through the social media channels, which are then being relayed to me for further action. So there isn't just one way of getting hold of me, but the website is probably the simplest. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Malcolm.